Hello, my name is Ryan White, and I'll be doing my project on new media and social media and how they're changing sports. In chapter 3, we learn about four main types of media. There's traditional media, new media, social media, and user-generated media. In these next few slides, we'll be talking about new media and social media. There is a line between traditional media and new media, but it's very blurred as stated in the book. Mainstream journalists and personalities have a huge presence in a multitude of formats and platforms. Websites give an easy access for fans to find information on present games, past games, complex statistical trends, game formats, predictions, and even more. This is where blogs enter the equation, as well as alternate news outlets, such as Barstool Sports. Barstool Sports can be entertaining and fun, but the stories can be deemed salacious and crass. This then leads to social media. The book defines social media as digital communities for creating and sharing content within networks. Social media allows for lots of engagement between fans, fans and players, players back to fans, but it also allows for engagement of critics. Because of this, social media can be dangerous to the livelihood of overall sports media complex. A general overview. Social media plays a big part of many of our lives. So many people around the world wake up, they hit snooze on their alarm, and they immediately begin scrolling. The average person spends about 2 hours and 47 minutes on social media. Social media can have negative effects on any person, but athletes are at higher risk due to their social standing and the emotional abuse that social media can lead to. Many high-level athletes will finish a game or competition, go to the locker room, and immediately get on their social media, viewing what is being said about them, what's being said about their team, the teammates, the outcome of the competition and what people think of it, and predictions of what's to come before even taking a shower or evaluating their own personal performance. Not only can social media's addictive properties cause a spiral in mental stability of an athlete, it can also hurt the social platform. Athletes are seen in a different spotlight, a spotlight, if you will, than many other influencers and famous people. Because of this, their presence on social media and the information that they post can potentially hinder their careers. Social media. In an article that I found online called The Dangers of Social Media for Athletes, Joe Davis discusses the social media dopamine and the fact that athletes using social media have potential to hurt their own well-being, their identity, and their performance. People using social media are in a constant search for validation and reassurance, athletes especially. Athletes are constantly looking for validation from a teammate, from a coach, from someone that they're competing against, just to know that they're doing everything they can to make the best of their game, make the best of their practice, and just fill their hole as they see themselves as having a lot of potential. Well, athletes are very susceptible to drug addiction. Athletes have highly competitive and obsessive personalities, and many of the attributes of high-level athletes possess show that their personalities are also highly addictive. One of the reasons athletes often turn to drugs is in attempts to escape the extreme pressures felt from their sport. Being that athletes are easily turned to drugs and quickly addicted, the same outcomes can come from social media addiction. Obviously, someone won't overdose from social media, but the use of social media can be detrimental to an athlete's performance abilities and their mental health. Because social media taints reality and obscures what's really going on, users are able to hide behind fake identities, fake accounts, just to troll and bully others on the platform. This happens to so many athletes as they are constantly critiqued. Media coverage. News really travels fast. Controversial acts by athletes sparking media. In this slide, I will go over a few different examples of when athletes stood for what they believed in and how the media covered it, and eventually or over time it hindered the athlete's career and performance. First, we'll start with Carlos Delgado refusing to stand for the song God Bless America. In July of 2004, Delgado Refuses to Stand. This is a song that is felt by so many Americans, but Delgado explained that he felt that the song, God Bless America, represented a war that he did not believe in. Later that year, in the season, Delgado went with his teammates of the Blue Jays to New York and was very critiqued. He was booed and mocked by Yankees fans. This was widely known due to media coverage. Shawn Green choosing religion over baseball. Shawn Green, a Jewish believer, believed that it was not in his best interest to play on one of the holiest days of the Jewish calendar. The holiest day, actually, Yom Kippur. The major religious holiday usually falls in mid to late September. Throughout his long and respected career, Green refused to play in games which fell on Yom Kippur. Although he was very needed by his team, if a game fell on that day, his religion was just more important to him. The media covered this, and it was known by many people. For the Lost Suns jerseys example, in April of 2010, the state of Arizona passed new immigration law to stop rampant illegal immigration across their state. Robert Sarver, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, did not like the strong bipartisan outcome resulting in the law being passed. The team wore Lost Suns jerseys rather than their usual jerseys for the games. Reports indicated that the team unanimously decided to wear these jerseys. Statements by the Suns owner, the Suns players, left no doubt that the choice was definitely a political statement. This caused a lot of discourse in sports. Muhammad Abdul-Rauf's Silent Prayer. Previously known as Chris Wayne Johnson of LSU, he decided to convert to Islam and change his name. However, there was something else that brought attention to him nationally. In 1996, Abdul-Rauf refused to stand for the Star-Spangled Banner before NBA games. The NBA commissioner, David Stern, did not like this. He suspended Rauf for one game in March of 1996. This was blown up by news coverage, although later they worked out a little compromise where Abdul-Rauf would stand. He agreed to stand for the national anthem, and he would also be allowed to bow his head and recite his Muslim prayers. Pat Tillman leaves the NFL for the U.S. Army. Arizona Cardinals safety quit his budding NFL career and enlisted in the U.S. Army. To this day, Tillman's motivation for giving up his NFL career are shrouded in mystery and conjecture. His religious and political beliefs seem to differ depending on different media sources. It was a bold and political statement, but this is what he needed to do. The last example I'll use is Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem. This was during a time where lots of riots were breaking out in America, and Kaepernick's goal was to bring systemic racial and ethnic inequalities closer to the front of American minds in hopes that such evils would be eradicated. He's later removed from the team, and this is still something that is very highly talked about. I mean, it happened in 2016 and it's pretty fresh. So this is another example of how the media was sparked by a controversial act that an athlete took, a well-known athlete, someone that has a very big presence on social media, and the media just decided to use it against him. These are my sources, and I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Thank you.